Hello, welcome to another video on the Scouring Early Access. Today's match is going to be a 3 versus 3 match with me, the Perfect Gamer, and my allies, Attila and Mucktraxer. And our enemy team is going to be Dinchicode, ADKI, and Amonavsess. And this is, I guess, a new map that a player made. Tetonka is a Russian player, so we decided to try out this map and see if it's interesting to play. Anyways, over here, I started as an orange orc, and I did decide to go for archer build, because on big maps, archer army is a little more useful later into the game compared to warrior armies. Anyways, over here, the black orc, Attila. Looks like he's making a few warriors. He's potentially maybe gonna be making archers. And over here, my final ally, white orc, Mucktraxer. Looks like he's also doing a archer build order, which is also pretty good decision. Anyways, over here, the first enemy, blue orc, Dinchicode. Looks like he's doing the usual archer build with, I guess, warrior that can capture outposts. Over here, you can see the cyan orc, ADKI. Looks like he's doing a warrior build order, and he's even doing a second town hall, which I guess can allow him to have double worker production. So I guess he's trying to go for I guess all the workers, but that means he's going to be getting his gold a lot slower. So this is interesting strategy. Anyways, over here, the yellow orc, Amonavsess. Looks like he's doing a warrior build, which can be useful, I guess, if supported by other units. So over here we can see these few mining bases at the front. Yes, goblin archers here defending him, so you can quickly expand. Some wolves here. And from the screenshots I did see there was on a munchers here, and it's a big, what do you call it, a base in the back of the map. And so this is where I decided to go first. And of course, killing some munchers can also give you some extra gold. And I guess there's these muncher caves here, but I think they're just neutral and not hostile neutral buildings, so you're not gonna really get any gold by breaking them, even if you had pillage. So maybe that's something that could be changed, because at the moment they're just here as, I guess, visually interesting buildings. And over here I did clear most of the munchers, but there's going to be one muncher hiding here, and so he might annoy me in the future. And over here we can see Mr. Blue already got an expansion. Looks like he's going forward on the map instead of trying to clear munchers in the back here. On the bottom, the yellow player looks like he's beginning to clear some neutrals around this big island, I guess you could call it. The bottom quarter of the map. Here I just also started a fast expansion. I kind of forgot this goblin archer here, but I guess it's still useful to have some vision, because it is turned on for goblin waves, So having a somewhat lit base can be strategically beneficial. And of course over here I was trying to clear some goblin archers because white didn't want to do it. But then of course here I clear his wave of goblins. And here my wave begins attacking me. But of course, on top of my own wave, my black allies base, black allies goblin wave also attacks me, so now it's somewhat close to losing my logging camp, which has been very terrible. I'll have to build another one if I want a sustainable wood income, I guess. But overall, wasn't that big a deal. So I did somewhat solo 3 of these waves myself, which I guess just gives me some extra gold instead of splitting it between my allies. But it wasn't really my intention, and that's just how it worked out. So yeah, we're getting into tier 2, making workers. Looks like Science running around with a group of workers. It's maybe thinking of expanding. Looks like Yellow's already expanding. And over here, Mr. Blue decided to take the south post. So I guess maybe see if our troops are going to be running through here. And after seeing this, I wanted to see if something's going on here. But of course, at the same time, Cyan wanted to take this base. And so I somewhat delay him from doing that. So here I decide to just go to the top quarter. Try and clear the neutrals here. You see what's over here. And there's just a huge pack of wolves here. But I made quick work out of them because I didn't have the upgraded archer damage researched. On the bottom we can see there's a hostile neutral barracks here, so after breaking it we can actually get some gold, which I think should also be the case for all these muncher caves here. So there's these diverse camps here, I guess. A lot of different units. And over here I see a big army of cyan and blue coming to attack us on our side of a base, or our side of a map. And so instead of continuing to attack here, I'm kind of forced to run home to try and defend myself. But my ally did station out of his archers here, and I had a good amount at home, so and on top of having worker bows, so this didn't really achieve much, but just beat us some of these archers here. And now Cyan's gonna lose versus his warriors. Looks like Yell might be trying to attack the white player here, but it does look like the white player is doing a fast devourer build, which can be very effective on especially huge maps. And here of course this outpost kind of slowed us down from attacking. But of course I didn't have map packs, so I didn't know that most of the archers went home. So we could have attacked this outpost a little sooner. And of course I thought blue was still here, so I tried to call white to try and help us. But then I guess I remembered that he typed in Russian a little bit, so I tried to tell him to come up here as well, but in Russian. But he kind of didn't really communicate the whole game, so that was a little annoying. Yeah, here's a little muncher hiding in a corner here. So right now, trying to get a fast tier 3 on every side of a map. You can see blue is doing a similar, I guess, build to me. Getting a fast tier 3 to get some warlocks, or maybe a handful of munchers. Looks like Yo is also doing a muncher build order. Munchers. Looks like Science just on the way now finishing out the muncher cave, so most of his army is going to be made out of warriors. On the left here, blue player decides to clear this camp of munchers here, which is a little, I guess, strange, because I thought Cyan would want to make a base in the back instead of a forward base. But I guess that's the decisions he took. Anyways, over here, we cleared some goblin archers here. Decided to attack. I saw there was just a lot of warriors, so they're not going to really defend this base well. Over here we yell, try to stop us, but I kind of target fired all of his munchers somewhat well. And so now this base is going to be very vulnerable to these munchers. So of course, blue here is going to try to run and save this base. And over here, Science even trying to repair it. But I do notice it, and so I do try to snipe these pesky repair workers. And so here, we do lose a good amount of army here. But we did kind of kill the whole army of yellow. And I guess a little bit of cyan. But I guess more importantly, we just delayed him from having this base. And we killed some workers, so his economy is going to be a little slower now. And over here, my allies both have expansions. Looks like White has all the archers, and he's beginning to move around the map with a big, I guess, stack of heads here, which can be very effective when you harass the enemy behind their lines, and when you can just fly away into the water. Over here, blue's beginning to clear the map here. And there's not much else left to go. So you can see here, there's another pack of wolves here. Yes, there's also a dark cave at each corner of the map, on the top and bottom. And his base is protected by a good amount of warriors, some goblin archers, which of course can hide on top of those barracks, which can make him pretty annoying to take care of. But of course here you can see blue actually got the pillage. He's beginning to get gold from this building. Now here you can see interesting human camp by human hero, human archers, few swordsmen. This is like a little settlement. I guess this doesn't make sense as a orc guard tower. Could have been a human guard tower, but it's not a big deal. Now here my ally finds enemy here, so I decide to run and help him out as well. so we are gonna be taking care of this issue. And I did see this pesky warlock run to the north here, so blue player tried to play hide and seek, but he's not gonna be playing it for long. And of course, right as I'm killing these units here, goblin wings begin spawning. And I just started making warlocks myself. I have a few munchers, and of course, my black ally gets attacked by 2 waves at the same time. And his army is all the way in the north here, or whatever is left of it. So I'm forced to try and save his base. But eventually, thanks to Warlock Death Cloud ability, he cleaned up these goblins. Very few units lost. And of course, I did realize, right about now I think, that there's no more potions, or turned on for no potions allowed. And so this changes the gameplay a little bit, where you're kind of, I guess, prioritized or focused on spending your resources, because you can't just dump a lot of potions here to get rid of your gold to increase the power of your army. So it's more about making a lot of production buildings and just spamming out as much units as possible. Now here on the left side tried to expand here, but I stopped him. And here I was kind of running in a gold at my main, so I was gonna take this base eventually. Here is a little misclick because I clicked over here, I think. So my munchers took the fastest route to their doom. Of course, lose a warrior. That was meant to wait for these archers. So here you can see a huge army of munchers here, preparing to attack. A huge army of blues munchers, the warlocks. They assign as a good handful of munchers, not archers. Here yellow tried to attack, but I didn't have a good handful of warlocks, so I do trade, I guess, a similar amount of munchers. Maybe take out a little more. Over here, white loses his expansion. He's just patiently waiting here at the edge of the map. So the black player tried to tell him to attack or do something instead of just waiting to die. Here I could have had an attack, but blue was going to poison my munchers, and I had less of an army here, so that's why I decided to retreat. But of course, in the meantime, made a base here, and Cyan just got fed out of gold by breaking this town hall of mine. Oh, just about now, yellow wakes up, I guess, and decides to attack. And of course, if you're not expecting any heads to be built, then you're going to be extremely unprepared for them. And so if you have a lot of cannons on your bases, or even, I guess, handful of warlocks, then they're going to do very severe damage to you. So here, while blue is trying to poison these heads here, in the meantime, the yellow player is trying to run around here, maybe run back home, so we catch a good portion of his reinforcements here. And over here he kind of loses first of his army. Here. Over here, white gets to fly away after doing some severe economic damage. And of course, on top of losing all of his workers, yellow loses his expansion as well. And so now he's kind of too far behind to be really helping anyone at this point. Here I tried to send more workers to try and expand once again. So I'm going to be running out of gold from both of my bases anytime now. And here I guess I decide to have a fight here to try and maybe kill a good handful of warlocks. Because usually the person with more warlocks is going to be winning, so trying to thin them down is going to be very beneficial. So here I also kind of poison the enemy army. Take out a good amount of warlocks. But now all my warlocks don't have any mana. So these four monsters are gonna pretty much kill all of them here. As white decided to, yes, go take care of this base instead of saving my warlocks, but I guess it is what it is. See this huge army of munchers here. And so this would have been a good trade if I did not lose these warlocks. I'd have more than blue eventually, but yeah, so it's a little unfortunate. Now here, finally making a base. I have no more gold. And so I'm gonna be forced to defend this base heavily. And looks like white also ran out of gold. Or out of bases, because black took his base. But white did destroy this whole base here, mostly. And then you can also always return after healing up to do even more damage. Looks like over here, Sign trying to maybe do a run by, kill some units, but after seeing all these heads, he decides to run away. And here I find out Sign has a base here. So I decide to, I guess, get some gold by killing this base with a lot of skeletons. Here Sign decides to retreat instead of losing his archer army here. So we gotta take this base for free. I have a good amount of warlocks. Over here we can see blue sending in some skeletons to maybe annoy us or start munching on these barricades here. But of course, in the meantime, white was being annoying, throwing some farms, some workers. And of course, you can always fly away and just wait to heal up, which is very, I guess, frustrating if you're the one defending against the heads. And so on big maps can be very difficult to fight against. Oh, now all the goblin waves begin spawning. And it looks like the yellow player gets all 3 waves. Spawning right in space. Which is very unfortunate. Because he was already left with not much. But I guess blue player does eventually save him. No big issues here. Looks like some goblins are annoying the sign player. Auto muncher being auto menace. And on top here, the goblin wave spawns to try and take out my mining base here. In the meantime, sign tried to run by here to break my other expansion. Of course, white came back for revenge to take out, I guess, the rest of the buildings of the yellow player. And he's somewhat helpless here. And here I send a big group of munchers to go south to see if the enemy expanded there. And right now, the yellow player gets eliminated. So the last of his munchers are now going to be donated to the blue player's cause. I tried to tell white to run away. I guess he didn't notice. So he does lose a good amount of heads here. But I wasn't really sure why he didn't pay attention. Because he wasn't really macroing. Just has 2 spires. He's not really mining. But I guess maybe he's a newer player. Of course here, this little group of munchers that was meant to scout for expansions gets to do exactly what they're meant to do. So now this expansion is gonna fall. And over here, the blue player tries to do a run by of his own. But all my extra munchers were in the south here, of course. So on top here, they really have much of an army. And so eventually, all these warlocks are gonna die. But here I decide to use my workers to kill all these low health munchers. And here I could have taken out one more, but I kind of just gave up on looking here. So I decided to run here to help out white against these warlocks. So we do take out a good amount of them from the sign player's army. But even here you can see there's like 3 cannons here, but we didn't really kill that many heads. So at this point, the blue player just has 1 base here, which is going to be harassed by the white player. On up here, the black player He just maybe thought that he was going to be attacking with white. But he kind of ran his army in here. And then blue managed to poison it and use lifesteal to just annihilate this whole army. Looks like Cyan has a good number of munchers. Here just sending these annoying skeletons. So get some extra gold. Just trying to annoy on top here. Because of course you can get some gold by breaking these buildings. But here, instead of losing all my munchers, I do decide to retreat. Because I didn't know that the enemy reinforcements would be here sometime soon. And here I thought that this base was going to be running out soon enough, so I decided to send some workers and munchers here to try and expand on the bottom as well. But of course, in the meantime, we're going to have this huge battle. A lot of munchers, a lot of warlocks. And so, I do lose a good amount of munchers, so does my ally black. But so does Cyan and the blue player. And of course, white was kind of distracting blue here, so I do get to run away with a good handful of warlocks. But I guess over here, the white player decides to fight instead of trying to fly away into the outer parts of the map. And so now his whole army just gets melted away. Here I realize these goblins are still harassing me here. So I didn't go down here to take care of them. But of course I could have just left my munchers here after killing all the goblins. Then waited for more to spawn, but it was just easier to break this so I wouldn't have a headache by having to be forced to look here. Here's some skeletons, can be useful to break a building, and of course give you some extra gold. You can see all my allies ran out of gold. So white is maybe thinking of making a gold base here. And my black ally decides to expand on the bottom as well. So I do leave a good handful of munchers to defend them. And I have a lot of units here to defend my expansion. And I have just a few units here to defend my base, my main base. And of course a few warlocks here. And so any time now, the goblins will begin to spawn. We can see another neutral camp. A wizard, few cavaliers, few swordsmen, and I guess apprentice that likes to watch his allies die. And even though these potions dropped here, it's turned on for no potions, so no one can even pick them up, which is a little funny. On here I did send in Launcher Scout to see blue was still mining here, which made him scared, so he did run all his mining workers to his main base here. Oh, and of course now all the goblin waves begin spawning. My wave spawned here, and blacks and whites goblins spawn right in the middle of the white player's main base. He doesn't really have much here to defend himself, so it's gonna be overwhelmed any time now. And I was a little busy trying to defend on top here. So I didn't really notice that white was gonna be eliminated pretty shortly. And over here we can see Cyan got his wave, and so did blue, but they had warlocks, so it was relatively doable for them. And right now I realize white is going to be eliminated if he loses these two buildings here, which is why I typed this here. He didn't really tell us that he's dying. And so these two munchers kind of saved him by distracting all these goblins here. Shouldn't allow this building to stay alive long enough for, I guess, my white ally to make a town hall here. Even he could have made it over here with his arbor workers, and maybe mine some gold over here. So white doesn't really have much left, just pretty much a few of these heads, and that's about it. On top here, blue is gonna break in this base, but I decided to just mine as much as I can here before just letting this base die. So I can see enemies just have a few workers mining, Cyan as well. So I'm mining a lot. Then black is as well. And now I'm preparing this big push against the enemies. A pretty big army of munchers. And for warlocks. With, of course, another group of munchers and warlocks. So I was going to be doing this two front assault. I'm going to attack from here. Black decided to attack this expansion. And so now he's going to be losing a good amount of these munchers. But not before killing a base and a good handful of archers. We are decided to run the main base of blue player. And I have a lot of warlocks, so I was trying to catch his warlocks here. And here I managed to place my death clouds first. So here in a split second, my warlocks get their animation done first. So I do get to kill most of his warlocks first. Here, some reinforcements. having to destroy the rest of the enemy's bases. And on top here, blue was trying to be annoying, I guess. He just had a group of warlocks. And so he was going to take a very long time to destroy all of our bases. And back at home, he didn't really have many warlocks left. And Cyan just had a handful of warlocks himself. And over here, Cyan gets to put a sneaky poison on my warlocks. Which, of course, was very effective, but now the black player can catch him eventually. I guess I lost all my munchers. Or no, I guess I sent them to the north here to try and find any bases that blue might be hiding in or building. Then I'll just use my warlocks to take care of the final few buildings of the enemy. Here, spread my warlocks out a bit. So Cyan wouldn't be able to put Death Cloud on me as he did before. Over here, Cyan decides to surrender. And at this point, blue doesn't have much left to fight with. Just saw the warlocks here that are starving. But they can't really do much anymore. And so now, this is the final order of building of a blue player. And so, you'll be eventually eliminated. But of course not before trying to run away with his workers. Trying to hide on a map. But now he can't really run any longer. So there you have it. There's an interesting little map. A lot of, I guess, interesting potential battlefields in the middle here. Of course, trying to fight over these outside expansions here, which can take a long time for any armies to run to the north or to the south, so it can be a little interesting. Let's see results. You can see here, managed to mine a lot because I didn't get maybe 3 or 4 bases. So I didn't get to mine a lot. Made a lot of units. But most of them were warlocks and munchers. And I guess by using them effectively to bait in the enemy, were able to take care of the enemies, but of course blue did very, I guess, heavy damage to the yellow player, so he kind of couldn't really defend himself. And by being just annoying and breaking all the expansions on the edges of a map of a blue player. Anyways, if you liked the video, you can leave a like, leave a comment. If you want to see more videos on the Scouring Early Access, then you can subscribe. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.